Xbox has seemingly canceled more video games than I have finished in this year alone. And while we're at it, they laid off just as many people as watch this show on a weekly basis. I mean, we've got to talk about this because this is an industry-shaping event, right? Like, this is massive. It's going to be sending ripples for months to come, and a bunch of people are without jobs. Studios have been closed, and we've got a lot of games that were canceled. In fact, in case you missed it, Microsoft cut an estimated 9,000 jobs this week, and which I think like one report was saying like that's 4% of their total staff. And that layoff is going to be resulting in big hits across their studios like Rare, ZeniMax Online, Raven, and of course King Software as well. Now, saying that it's impacting studios is one thing, but I know a lot of people watching this show are like, well, what games got impacted? And straightforward, if you were looking forward to games like Rare and their upcoming Everwild, or the Initiative's upcoming Perfect Dark, unfortunately, I have to break the news, those games got canceled by Microsoft because of these layoffs. Like, they shut down the Initiative, the studio that was working on rebooting Perfect Dark, which is kind of poetic. Because at the end of the day, now we can say things like Xbox has no initiative, or that Perfect Dark is now just dark. I mean, these headlines literally just write themselves at this point. And unfortunately for Microsoft, I mean, the Initiative's Perfect Dark is just a complete can of worms for Xbox, because this game was set to be the official reboot of the Perfect Dark series. The hype behind this game was massive. Xbox's Phil Spencer, in fact, the entire team at Xbox was saying that this was going to be the industry's first quadruple A video game. It was going to be better than anything we have ever seen before, ushering in a new era of video games as we know it, and yet here we are in the year 2025, and the game has been canceled, and the studio has been shuttered. And then you got Everwild, which looks really cool, right? This game was announced a couple years ago. It was very unique looking. It's a third-person action-adventure game. And while we never got an official gameplay trailer for this video game, I mean, we're at a point where Rare has worked on Everwild for 5 years, and we still really don't know what this game was going to be. Honestly, canceling the video game is the most clarity we've gotten surrounding Everwild since Xbox actually announced it. But that doesn't change the fact that I'm super bummed, because the world that this game was creating looked super intriguing. Like, it looked like it was going to be a very fun game to explore, and the fact that we're not going to get it is a bummer. Now, other games impacted by these closures include like an unannounced MMO game that was coming from ZeniMax Online. You also had another unannounced video game that was coming from John Romero's studio, and that one is the one that hurts. I'm not going to lie. You had a game in development that was from the godfather of first-person shooters. Daddy Doom was making a game for Bethesda and Xbox, and now it's not happening. I do have to say, though, I hope we do see like some Stadia rescues here. Like when Stadia canceled a bunch of games, I know a lot of studios came in and picked them up. I hope that we do see someone come into John Romero's studio and scoop up what remains of this game, because, oh God, can you just imagine giving John Romero the ability to create another shooter in this world? And you can't help but be sad, right? Because like you look at the tweets that these companies are putting out. Romero Games posted that because of the canceling of funding, this studio has suffered its own layoffs. So like, we don't even know if somebody came in and rescued this game, we would see it, because they're laying people off. And I feel like it is worth saying this. When it comes to Xbox and these canceled games, these are the games that we know about. Behind the scenes, I guarantee you, there were a bunch of other games that got canceled that we will probably hear about in the upcoming weeks, that we're just going to be having the same reaction that we've had to Everwild, to Perfect Dark, and to John Romero's game, where we're just like, are you kidding me? And I really do feel for the Xbox team, because I don't know how you paint it any other way than being like, hey man, yeah, we're trying to clean house, but to clean the house, we're torching the foundation at the same time. Now, this is a really good opportunity to pause and say that, like, layoffs suck. You know, there are developers and game makers who have been massively impacted by this announcement. They no longer have a job. They're probably a little scared right now, because with the economy the way it is, this is a hell of a time to lose your job. And I guess what I would say is, like, do not lose sight of your joy, right? You became a game developer for a reason. You wanted to make video games. You love video games. Do not give up on that. Hell, take this opportunity to make your own game. AAA games are cool. Quadruple A games, even kind of cooler. Hopefully one day we'll see that. But that whole space is in a really weird place right now. And I would even say we're having a renaissance in indie games. So I would say to the developers who have lost their jobs and those of you that don't know where to go next, I hope that you take this and you turn this into the fuel that just sets your career off into a completely different dimension. I hope that some of you will go out and make incredible games that literally just set the world on fire to the point that Xbox comes and they're like, hey, sorry about laying you off, but do you mind putting your game on our platform? Assuming that Xbox obviously still has a platform in 2 years. Speaking of Xbox's Phil Spencer did issue a statement about these layoffs saying, and I quote, "We are prioritizing the strongest opportunities and staying agile," which is corporate speak for we spent too much money and we don't know how we're going to pay the bills, so we got to make some cuts. And again, I hate to punch down on this show, but at this point, it does feel like there's becoming a pattern when it comes to Xbox. Xbox walks in, they buy up a studio, they take the IP, they take the resources, and then they shut it down, and then they rinse and repeat that like 12 more times. Like, the fact is, over the last 10 years, Xbox has shuttered 10 different studios and canceled at least 10 games that we know of. Somewhere in the basements of Microsoft, there is a pile of studios that have been completely shuttered and a bunch of canceled video games over in this corner. And then directly over here, you got like the Zune and the Microsoft phone. That is the world that we are living in. And part of me tries to like justify this. Like, I'm trying to put my CEO hat on and being like, well, it makes sense, right? Xbox went on a huge spending spree when they bought ZeniMax Bethesda, and then they bought Activision. And then along the way, they bought like a bunch of other studios that definitely helped them. But you have to think that there's going to be redundancy to address, right? You got multiple HR departments across all the studios. Each studios have their own QA testers. And now that all those studios are underneath the Microsoft umbrella, some of those positions are no longer needed because why can't studios share resources? But anyway, for me, I mean, this was not a fun story to talk about going into this week. I was not happy about these announcements. I feel like there are ways that corporations can avoid this type of stuff. And I really do hope that Xbox gets a little bit smarter with how it spends its money. I guess I would lean on you. Do you think that Xbox needs to change some things internally, or are they just panicking and canceling everything that's just nailed to the floor? I mean, let me know in the comment section down below, unless you're one of those developers that got laid off, because obviously, you know, you're doing other things. You don't need to worry about commenting right now. And in that case, I would say good luck. I hope you find a job soon. And for the rest of the Xbox gamers out there, if nothing else, at least we have Game Pass.